Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Riley Satrowski, and I'm here to kind of go over just diversity in itself and also to explain, why I feel like I should be nominated and awarded this award. So let's jump right in. So first, we got your introduction. So workplace diversity fosters mutual respect among employees. Whether employees work in groups or teams comprised of coworkers with varied work styles, disabilities, or who represent different cultures or generations. Um, a work environment becomes the norm, like having the different cultures and different diversities within inside us. That's kind of becoming the norm with the world evolving. Although a peaceful atmosphere may be difficult to achieve, employees nevertheless recognize the many strengths and talents that diversity brings to the workplace, and they gain respect for their colleagues' and performance. Having a diversity plan, excuse me. So starting out, we need to make sure that everyone here at the organization understands the definition of diversity. The more we understand something, the more comfortable we will feel when including someone. For an example of that is that being around something that scares you, you'll eventually become accustomed to it, and it won't scare you anymore. So we just kind of need to be aware of the differences that we all have. So next is going to be creating an assessment of need for a diversity plan. Just like all plans, we got to figure out do we need this in place or do we not? Are we working together with all the different diversities within us or not? We just have to have a plan in place so that way if we do end up having some conflict, we have an easy way to kind of go over it and to fix it. We'll need to ensure that we understand the mission and vision for the diversity plan. With all things, understanding that that we're all here together. We're all going to be working together and just kind of being a team. That's kind of what working with diversity is all about. Using everyone's assets to make our organization the best it can be. Next is determine what our goals are and vision. We need to create a statement of priorities and accountability for the organization. Everyone here at the organization, we should all have the same big picture goal, and that's just to succeed and excel at everything we do. We want our clients to be happy. We want them to come back and feel comfortable coming to us. And with having many different diversities, we can not only understand one another more, but we can also understand our clients better if they're of a different diversity as well. So then next is going to be delegate the responsibilities towards achieving the plan. So this is putting one person in charge of this is just not going to happen. So we need a person from each department to kind of come forth and, take the bull by the horns, if you want to say, and, run with the plan and just get it going. Diversity plan, with creating that, it's just like creating any other plan. You want to create it first. You need to understand it. And then implement it and then figure out kind of where it needs to be fine-tuned. We want to be a well-oiled machine here. And with that, we need to have some great plans put in place that are understandable and easy to follow. So next then, we're just going to move right along here. We got cultural inclusion. Throughout corporate history, diversity and inclusion have been two sensitive and highly controversial topics, which have shaped and molded organizational cultures. So what is diversity and inclusion? Diversity means all the ways we differ. Some of these differences we are born with and cannot change. Anything that makes us unique, really, is part of the definition of diversity. Inclusion involves bringing together and harnessing these diverse forces and resources in a way that is beneficial. Many companies do struggle to realize the full significance of having a diverse and inclusive workforce. Focusing instead on numbers, while diversity in organizations is increasingly respected as a fundamental characteristic, neither acceptance nor appreciation have equated to inclusive workplaces where unique vantage points of diverse people are valued. Inclusion enhances an organization's ability to achieve better business results by engaging people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives through participatory decision making. It ultimately touches every part of the business, and some of the payoffs include the following. So with cultural inclusion, we're going to have many things that are kind of like woohoo, and that includes increased productivity, increased creativity and problem solving, attract and retain talent, synergy and enhance communication skills, increased market share, satisfy and maintain a diverse customer base. So that's a big thing, is our clients are coming from all different diversities, and we really want to be able to understand them. These payoffs are achievable by any organization. They are direct results of managing and maintaining a diversity plan, which uses diverse perspectives and talents to foster growth and remain competitive. It can only be accomplished through individuals willing and ready to implement it in the already existing culture. Many times, organizational instability is caused because the majority of not willing to achieve or to accept the minority. But as previously mentioned, the advantages of establishing a diverse and inclusive workplace yield far more value than remaining stagnant. We really want to stress that. I mean, come on, we can see the benefits already. Working together, increasing our base or our customer base, increase market share. We really want to do that. Attract and retain talent. Everybody brings their own skills, their own talent, their own set of clients, and we really want to be able to just embrace them with open arms. So another big question is, well, how are we going to work together? Like, we're different than them, they're different from us. How are we going to do that? So curiously approach other people who are different than you. Assume that you can learn from them and them from you. Ask questions. This, of course, is part of communication. To ask good questions in order to deepen awareness and understanding. Communication with one another is such a big part in our organization. We want to make sure there's no communication barriers that are keeping us from contacting one another. So next is invite and engage people into discussions. A healthy debate and exchange. Take an active interest in others by asking them for their input and creative ideas. Assume positive intent. By doing so, you open up to the other person. So, ask them their opinion. If you're having difficulty working on one of these, let's say, assignments that you have to do, for your manager, well, if you're at a standstill, well, it's easy to ask around and get some information. And then next we got look for the common purpose, what you have in common. What do you both want to achieve, and then communicate to everyone involved and reach an agreement on a shared commitment to that purpose. Discuss and agree on some operating principles on which your collaboration and teamwork will be based. Communicate. That is the number one thing. Differences and tensions are often the result of lack of communication, of incorrect and unnecessary assumptions. If you're the leader, communicate openly with your team at regular intervals. Keep up to date. Understand what's going on in people's lives. We don't want to be strangers, as you guys don't want to be strangers to us. And then we got strategies to include Hofstede's cultural dimension. The first step in building our organization is to acknowledge the elephant in the room, addressing the existence of diverse cultural backgrounds within the team and the necessity of navigating those differences in order to optimize team performance. It is very important to learn what differences each culture has, because one's cultural background informs how we interact with others. As we discussed in Hoffman's cultural dimension model, we see that it provides a great starting point for understanding what drives people from different cultures and how we can adapt our working and communication styles to work better together in a cross-cultural team. So with the Hofstede's cultural dimension, there is another resource that is going to be on the organization's website that you can go and look at that kind of goes over each part of it. There are many dimensions to cover in just this little bit of time. So I do have that up on the website as well. Another thing is, one way to encourage this understanding of cultural diversity is to discuss cultural differences in a team meeting where everyone can share their cultural background and expectations about communicating and working style. We can do this in an informal way through activities such as, icebreakers. Select activities where team members get to learn more about each other through asking questions and sharing about their backgrounds. We want to make sure that we're opening up. We're making sure that they can come to us. And then next is I'm just going to go over this quickly, is best practices for managers. Again, there is a resource on the organization's website that kind of goes more in depth with this. So I'm just going to kind of bullet point them off. So first is practice consistency. Again, that's just encouraging good behavior, discouraging bad behavior, regardless of where it comes from. Next, we have detailed communication, as we will always go over, is that communication is key. If an organization is to operate like a fine-tuned machine, then we need to communicate. This, of course, covers all means of communication utilized. Next is encouraging the teamwork. An effective way to cultivate team spirit among team members is to assign projects. Again, you can find that on the company's website. That kind of goes more in depth with that. And then, just to kind of keep going, best practices for managers, this as well is practice transparency. You don't want to be a leader that's lied. You don't want to be a leader that's had kept information from their team. You just don't want to do that. And here at this organization, we really stress that. No, we're not going to be lying to our employees. The next is accepting everyone's opinions. This is always going to be a thing. We always want people to come to us with their ideas, with their, problems, everything. We want you to know that your opinion matters. And lastly, just make work enjoyable. You don't want to go to a job that isn't bringing you any joy, that's not bringing you any satisfaction. So a fun factor, is multiplied with such simple things as impromptu lunch trips, casual chats, and a decent break room. We want to have those resources. Alrighty, and then lastly, we're just going to quickly go over the conclusion. So diversity is constantly evolving and becoming a part of today's workplace. Instead of fighting against it, we should embrace it with open arms. There's many benefits with having diversity here at this organization. The amount of knowledge between all of us helps us to excel and give our clients the best service we can. Change can be scary at times. This change will depend on how we react to it. Here at this organization, we have done such an amazing job at growing together. Ensuring that our managers are practicing new ways to manage our team and how to manage different diversities is going to be key. So big reason why I feel like I should win this award is all my life I have been around diversity. When I was 14, my father had remarried into an African American family. He then had 2 children, and I embraced the knowledge and culture that they brought forward. It has always been a high priority to now include my half-siblings, ensuring that they are not feeling left out. Because as a kid, coming of a different race, it is very hard to make friends in a white neighborhood. And so just kind of ensuring that they're, included and not feeling alone. A big part of my life has been embracing the diversity and just kind of learning so much more about it. Just this last year, I had traveled to Africa. It was such an eye-opener to get out of the United States, because understanding how much or how different their country is was such an eye-opener. And and I really feel like I've taken the time to really understand people and really work on how to include people and how to manage diversity. This award would show how much I care for inclusion with people who differ or have different, who are different, whether it is race, gender, or religion. And and I really hope to be the winner of this award. If not, I want to, congratulate whoever I was going against, due to, they probably made a bigger change than I have so far. And that's awesome. And I love seeing how many people had applied for this award, because it just shows how many people are working on making diversity kind of just a neutral thing in the world. So I just want to thank everyone, and I'll be looking forward to finding out the results. Thank you.